we're live. Right on time today. Yay! I'll just wait a couple minutes for you guys to come in. Maybe I'll play a song. I don't know what song to play. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I see one person watching. Who's watching? Who is that? 2 people. Hi, guys. I don't know where you guys live, but here in California, hi, Nico. The weather, because of all the fires, the lighting is so weird. It's like orange. Today it's yellow. But like yesterday I had to put lights on in the house at 8 a.m. and it felt like it was the middle of the night. So it's throwing me off. It feels so weird. Okay. Hi, Aubrey. Oh, look what I have, guys. The cutest little onesie ever from Aubrey's studio with the little logo. I died when I saw this. And all the other cute stuff you got me. Thank you. Yeah, look at this thing. Oh. I had cramps yesterday. I was like, oh my god, is this it? It was a false alarm. Okay, so let's start. So today's workshop, what I wanted to do, hi Mary, hello, I heard the sun was, yeah, it was like San Francisco. I don't know if you guys seen pictures of San Francisco. It's insane. It was like orange, red at 10 a.m. It felt like the middle. It's the weirdest lighting ever. I don't know if you guys can tell. Maybe it looks normal. It's kind of yellowy right now. I've got like 3 lights on, otherwise it was really dark in the house. Anyway, okay, so today's workshop, what I want to help you guys or show you what I do. Hold on, I'm adjusting my computer. Is how, like, let's say you have a melody. This is kind of based on like how I do pop songs, but usually pop songs, like, you start from scratch and you're figuring out the melody, right, with your ear. The melody part is already done. So a lot of the songs in the books that I like put out, those pop song version ones, like the Christmas ones, or the beginner book song, the piano favorites, it's not out yet. I'm waiting on copyright permissions for certain songs. But all of these just have the melody written out. For example, see this little beginner book one? All it is just simple melody written out for the kids. So you're not figuring this out by ear. But when a kid or a student knows the song, you want to be able to like play with them. So what accompaniment do you do? So that's what I wanted to go over with. How about I start with Twinkle Twinkle, an easy one. So here's what you have in the beginner book, right? Your melody is there, your student figured it out, right? And then you're like, okay, so this could go both ways. I'm going to show you what you can do to accompany the student, and then I want to show you also like how they can accompany themselves too to make it more fancy, because they want to make it, just to make it more fancy. Okay, so first off, you have to kind of know what chord goes where, and this is what I do in pop songs anyway, which is use guitar tabs. So you would go to guitar tabs and type in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and you would look for the one. So this song and this one, most of the time, Twinkle Twinkle starts on C, right? So we're basically in C major, right? So a lot of the chords are going to be the chords from a C major scale, or anyway. So your one chord is a C chord. So, but let's type in Twinkle Twinkle. Let's see what we look. I knew it, and I just did it by hand, but I did actually. I looked it up. Oh, so here. In guitar tabs, I typed in Twinkle Twinkle, and the first thing you see is Twinkle Twinkle MIS, that's probably miscellaneous children. So I clicked on that one, and then you've got like lots of versions. So you just scroll through all the versions. So sometimes it takes me a while to find songs. This one will probably be easy. It says chords version 1, 623 hearts. So that's probably a more favorited one. Now I get an annoying ad, so I'm waiting for the X. Okay, perfect. So see, and I open it up, and I get all the chords: C, F, C, F, C, G7. Okay, you basically have 3 chords. So what I did is I added them manually to the song, and I followed the guitar tabs. So under C, C, da. So what you can do is you can sing it when you're doing this at home alone. Bum, 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 bum. And as teachers, you're going to feel when the chord comes, or you just follow guitar tabs. So I have a C chord, an F chord, a C chord. I try and fancy it up sometimes and change it up. So here, for example, I put G7 or F. One or the other works. C, G7, C, na, 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 na. I got fancy here too. For example, the da 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 da. The second time, la 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 la. I put C, which is the normal one, but I also put or A minor to make it kind of pretty and different. Then it's back to the beginning, and then I put some inversions in. I got fancy, but you can keep it really simple. Like in this guitar tabs version, it's really simple. It's straightforward. It's literally only C, F, and G7s. Is there a G? No, it's G7s every time. Yeah. Okay, and then for the last line, I put F or D minor to make it pretty. And F chord and a D minor chord, they share 2 notes in common. That's why they work really well, both of them. And for example, C major and A minor, they also have 2 notes in common, right? C and E. And then C, G7, C. Okay, I'm going to play the very simple version. This would be, for example, how a student would play it. Let's say they're a little bit more, they know some chords and they're a little bit more advanced. But then again, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is really for little kids, so they wouldn't be doing this. This would be more for you. But just to show you. So C chord, and F chord, C. I put G7 or F. I'll do a G7. Back to C, G7 again, C, C again, F chord, you can go down. Here's my A minor to get fancy. C, G7, F chord. Here I put C, where you could do, so I'm coming from an F chord. I could do a C over E. Sounds pretty. And then D minor. So I'm working down. G7. You can get fancy with the order and doing inversions. So for example, the first line. Instead of going all the way up to F, you could do an F inverted. So coming from a C chord, an inverted F is C, F, A. So I barely moved, right? Now, once you have your skeleton kind of, then you can break up the left hand right down. G7. So that's a little bit harder, obviously, for little kids, but that's what you could do. So your right hand would be doing the da 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 da. Let's say you have a kid play up here. That way you can play here. Otherwise it sounds too muddled down here. They're doing that. Now you can do. So all I'm doing with the left hand is doing whatever chord you see, you do the octave. And then your right hand breaks up that chord however you want it. And you can change up the style, like right? But I kind of imagine Twinkle Twinkle Little Star like nice and soft and sweet. But you can always change it up to make it fun. So that's how I would do it for one, showing the student how to add simple chords. And then for you, if you want to add an accompaniment for a little student just to make them sound really cool when they play a song. Okay, so that's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Do you guys have questions? Oh my god, adorable onesie. I know. It's so cute. What does it say? Little star. Let's bring it up one more time. A little future piano star. You totally like ordered that special made. And her little logo on there. He's so cute. He can look so cute in that. Okay. Twinkle Twinkle. Okay, Fur-Elise. I'll save the best for last, which is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh, it's so pretty. But so Fur-Elise, this one is going to be in my piano favorites book. So that one has quite a few like really current melodies that have been created in the last like 50 years. So I definitely need permissions to use those songs. The ones that are classical don't need to. So, but for this one, for example, this is a classical song, right? So you could look it up on guitar tabs, but I would personally like pull up, if you don't know it by heart, if you haven't learned Fur-Elise and you don't know what the chords are, I would look up the real sheet music and just look at what the chords are or the notes. So for example, like the left hand is an A. When I teach Fur-Elise to kids, I'm like, there's an A part and an E part. There's like the A, which is what the left hand does, and then an E, right? So all you're doing is alternating between basically A minor and E major. So if you know how to play the song, you would know what chords are being used, right? So, but what I did is I just wrote very simple left hand, because let's say you have a kid that, so this is for like a little bit of a later beginner, just because a 9 or 10-year-old that's starting piano doesn't want to necessarily play Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? Or Twinkle Twinkle. They might want to start with a little bit of a harder song, but that still has notes that they know. There are sharps in this one. There's sharps and flats in that book, way more than there are in the beginner book. But that's because they're older and they can pick up quickly, right? Jordan's moving all around right now. Okay, so it's distracting me. So what I did is added the chords where they would normally fall in the song. So for example, la 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 la, right? So under this A, I put, I don't know if you can tell, A minor, ba-da-da-dum, as an E chord, ba-da-da, A minor, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, A minor again, ba-da-da-dum, E, da-da-da, A minor, and then student repeats, la-la-la, so then this part of the song, that's all like C, G, C, that's all C chord, right? That's a G chord, that's all G stuff, A minor, and then you have a gazillion E's. Okay, so la 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 under this E, and if you guys want this sheet, I think I sent it out in a newsletter, but if you want it again, let me know and I'll send it to you. I just did it in pencil really quickly, but you guys can actually, like in the book, when the student has a book, or if you have the book, what would be great is if you guys have your own book and you write in all your notes if you need to have your chords written out. I usually know it just by heart, and some songs I don't, and I write them in with the student. I'll do a side note in a second. So let me finish this. La 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 la, C chord. Da 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 dum, G chord, bum ba da, A minor, da 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 E, and then a million E's, and then it starts over. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Let's say you have a beginner or a late beginner student, right? You teach them all the notes on Fur-Elise, like here. One, they feel so cool because they know Fur-Elise within a couple first lessons, right? And every kid wants to learn Fur-Elise. I know we have probably overtaught Fur-Elise way too much, but whatever makes the kids happy, we got to sacrifice and do it. So I'll do the song simply just with the blocked left hand chords. This is how the student would do it, right? So A minor, E chord, A minor again, block, and then you would repeat that, and then part 2, C chord. G chord, A minor, and then E. I actually tried this out. Hopefully you guys understand this in the book. I put 3 little down arrows so that wherever the student was, he or she will have to go 3 notes down to that E, and then they follow the order so that they actually play the exact order like the real song. Because a lot of Fearley's versions, they just do a very simplified version of the E's. And teaching those 9 E's in the real song is always so annoying. Like kids it's hard for them to get it. Anyway, but this is the real version that I wrote out. And then back to part 1. And then... And to end, you can tell them to do like a low A, right? Okay, so that's very simple. You can teach a student, because this would be for kind of a later beginner or early intermediate who struggles with notes and wants an easy song to learn. You can have them do that Alberti bass thing. Right? Or roll like this. Or they could do it lower, because right now my hands are like touching each other. So. Or you can use this and tell them this is how it is in the real song. Like instead of the A minor chord blocked, it's like, oh, it's an actual octave with the 5th in the middle. So, and then you're slowly teaching them the real one without sheet music. But if they know how to read sheet music, do the sheet music one. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Here is Release. Here comes my favorite, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's just so pretty. Okay, so it took me a second to find the version I wanted on guitar tabs. I wrote out the version. This is not the original key, right? Because this is in the Piano Favorites book, I wanted a key. I try and minimize the sharps and flats that go into it. I don't want it to be super hard. I think the original one might be in E flat. I don't know. Or maybe it is in C. I'm not sure. But I did this one in C. So when I went to look for the song in guitar tabs, I looked for the one that started with a C chord, right? So the melody's all written out for you. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about figuring out the melody. Half of it's done. So I'll go down in chunks and I'll show you the chords that I have. Let me see if I can find the version. So if I were you guys and I started fresh and I went to guitar tabs, well, let's type in Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And there's a lot of versions. Eric Clapton, Glee, Blanks, Emmanuel, Norah Jones. So I don't remember which one I did. I took pictures actually, like 2 weeks ago of the one I used. Audrey Hepburn. I know it wasn't that one. So I chose one. Oh, let's see. Miscellaneous soundtrack, Wizard of Oz. Here we go. I'll bet you it's that one. Okay, so I clicked that one. It says The Wizard of Oz, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, miscellaneous soundtrack. And now I've got a million options to look through. So you click, you go back. You click, you go back. I'm going to click on version 1. I have an ad, sorry. Come on, 5 seconds. They used to not have ads. Ah, first one works. This is the one. Okay, click the first one. Okay, see, so look all the chords that are in this song. There's quite a few. So you have all the chords up here. Sorry for the glare. Here we go. And then here, and I took pictures and screenshots of this one, so I could also send you that guitar tab screenshot that I took. But see, look at all the chords written above. So that's all I'm doing. Here you have the lyrics and the chords. Here there's no lyrics, so you kind of have to figure out, but I'm sure that's easy for you guys, like where the notes are. So let me read to you the chords that I put for the first part. I'll break it up in little chunks. So I put a C chord, E minor, for the rain, C chord under the B, C7, way F chord, F major 7, C major 7. There's some fancy chords in here. There's F chord. Oh, I love that. That F to the F minor. Oh, just grabs your heart. There's so pretty. C chord under the E. Land that I heard, C7. D minor under the D. C or G7. By G7 alone. Okay. So that's how I arranged it. I'm going to play it very simply with the blocked chords in the left hand. So this could work for you, where you have the melody in the right hand and you play the blocked chord, and then I'll show you guys also how to fancy it up even for you or for a duet with a student. So E minor. I put a C in parentheses because I don't necessarily want that C. I kind of like. I like to wait. Or F chord, sorry. F major 7. Oh, so pretty. Here's a filler note. F minor, C chord, C7, D minor, G7, G7. Okay, I'm just like craving more right now. It's like, it's too slow, too simple, like I need more. So. F chord, A, filler, F chord, and minor. Okay, so not only am I like adding rolly things, I'm adding harmony in my right hand. Like I need all the sounds. So here I'm doing a C up top, right? But I'm inverting. C7, F chord, F major. But this is all like together. So I did the F major plus A invert, F chord inverted, all together. So pretty. Jordan is enjoying this right now. F chord. I kind of like that, just like held. Just adding harmony. Okay, now you have the next part. So again, follow in your guitar tabs. Like all the answers are in here. And then you can kind of adjust where you want it. They got some fancy stuff in here too that I didn't necessarily put. I kept it semi-simple because there's quite a few chords. But they have like a C sus and then a C6, B7 I think I put in there. C major, yeah. So there's a couple like, oh I did put that one. F major 7 flat 5. That's at the end. We'll get to that. Okay. So next part. No. That one. C chord, and then my little EG, just because I was trying to make sure the song fit on 2 pages in the book. I just made it simple, and I just did a little ×4 for the EG, ×4 for FG. So, na C chord under all that, and oh, here's a C sus. Na. I wrote in what the C sus is, what I like in there. I wrote 4 notes in there: C, D, F, G. Oh, I did put the C6. And so your C6, I wrote C, D, F, A. And C chord again, B7. And I wrote in what those are also. B, D sharp, F sharp, A. La, 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 la. B chord, or G chord under the B. And then B minor 7. Find D, E, G7. So I'll play that little part for you. Simply, right? And sus, so C, D, F, G. C6, C, D, F, A. And then filler notes. C chord. B7. And then, oh, maybe down. No, I like it higher. B minor 7. That sounds wrong. Oh, D minor on that one. I put just a regular D. That has to be D minor. And then G7. Right? So that's your simple chords. Now, fancy it. Just roll it back and forth. Fillers. copied all those. F chord, F minor, C, C major, 7, D minor, and C chord, right? So that's just like the first part. And then we have a little ending. Na, 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 na. So, little C chord, that one's easy. The C sus again, that one we had. A D minor. Now your F major, I wrote G7 personally. But I think it's because I like the F major to the F major 7 flat 5. Now what the heck is that? So F major 7, F, A, C plus your 7. And then your fifth note, your 5 is your C, so flat 5 is, so you end up having F, A, B, E. So I think from the F, that's why they like the F major to the F major 7 flat 5. And then a C chord. So let's see what that sounds like simply. And then C sus. And then D minor. Here's your F major 7. Let's try it out. And then flat 5. That's pretty. And then I like C chord rolls at the end of all songs because it makes everything pretty. Hi Vivian. Oh my gosh, I need to read all these comments. I'm so sorry. We literally live in the land of yes, seriously. Aw, over the rainbow myself. I have my first 2 Kansas students start. Oh, that's exciting because guys, Aubrey moved. So that's hard, you know, moving and having to find new clients and new families. I'm curious, were you able to keep some of them online from before, or did you just stop lessons with them and let them find another teacher? Just because, like, now with the whole COVID thing and there's so many more options for online and stuff. Okay. Where am I in my head? Okay, so that's simple chords in the left hand. Yeah, I fancied it up. For you, so you can teach the student to roll all these chords, right, in the left hand. If you're trying to do an accompaniment, everything you teach a student to do in the left hand, your right hand takes that over, and then you add like octaves in the left, right? Or you could do double chords, and you have more options of doing more notes. And then there's also the style of the song, like do you want it uppy, but this is all like pretty wavy rolly, right? We want it to sound over the rainbowy. So that's how I figure out chords and how to accompany. Obviously, the more you do it, the easier it'll be, right? And starting easy with little kids is less intimidating than having to do these fancy songs and then just drop all these like duets just like that. But do you guys have any questions? Oh, and then Audrey's answering. I stopped lessons because, oh yes, your finger. And moving, I'm developing online lessons. Good. And have one previous student who will be starting. Oh, that's exciting. Good. Yeah, I'm curious how, like, with COVID, if we can get students pretty much anywhere. I know that I don't want extra ones because I want my time to work on Cascade method and all those other things. I'm now down to 3 days of teaching. Like I have my 30 students Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I have the other 4 days to do all the other stuff, which is exciting. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do. Oh yeah, so my side note from earlier that I was talking about, for example, in the Christmas book, so I had a lesson with one of my students, Caitlin, yesterday, and this is what I do with every student. At the beginning of every lesson, I do a playlist. So they pick, depending on the age or if the songs are long or whatnot. I have kids play songs that they've filmed and that they've learned in the past. It's just like the way we warm up. And the song that Caitlin used yesterday was Silver Bells. And I haven't taught that one a lot, so we looked up the chords, and she played it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that workshop on how to add left hand. And in the Christmas book for Silver Bells, we wrote out the chords just how, like, I'm showing you guys this. And she turned it into, like, it was just so pretty. right? So like she only had, from my Christmas book, she only had like the melody written out, and we added the chords. And she's been with me for so long that she just rolls chords on her own, right? And I don't have to accompany her or anything. So it just sounds so beautiful. So you can do that with all those Christmas songs, depending on the age. So you could use like these books for younger kids, but if you use it for the older kids, you teach them chords and all that stuff. So you can use all the books in so many different ways. But anyway, I hope that this helps. Mary said something one week. I have a student that wants to play this every week as her warm-up song. Now I'll get her to start changing her left hand. Are you talking about the, which one? Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Yeah, you want to fancy it up, and then you start teaching them patterns. So when we do pop songs, I always start with like the simple chords, right? And then slowly we'll like roll within the chords. Sometimes we'll add more notes. Sometimes, and then we write out our patterns. So like, it's so funny. We'll look back at some pop songs and we're like, what was that? What did we write? It made sense at the time, but we're like, right, left. We write in like the funkiest patterns, but we try and change it up so it's not always the same, right? Trying to think. I think that's it for today's workshop, unless you guys have more questions. Okay, yes. It's such a pretty song. I think Jordan likes it too. The Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Total classic. Yeah, Mary, let me know if you need me to send you my little chord ones, or if you have it in a different key, then I'll let you handle. But yeah, I'm working on my little Halloween book, and I finally finished all 10 songs, so right now I'm just like perfecting it. Something I noticed too, here's pros and cons of writing music and not being able to test it out on my students. One, I only have 2 hands. So I have the student part play on Sibelius, and then I play along with it. But I have to make sure that my hands, whenever I'm playing, don't conflict with the students' notes. And I'm noticing like there's certain melodies that I want to play, but then their little pinky is playing that note. So I'm like, darn it, I have to change it around. So I'm going through all the songs, make sure that I'm not conflicting with the student. But they're so cute. I was so excited. So I have that one. Well, so yesterday, like, I was like, oh God, I have cramps and everything. My lower back and my lower stomach was hurting. I'm like, oh my God, what if he comes tonight? And I'm like, I need to finish the Halloween book. So I'm going to try and crank that out this weekend. Like, I need to finish it. And then the Christmas book too. I'm doing a second Christmas book. All the songs are done, and Dan, my illustrator, sent me all the titles, so I'm going to put that all together. Now I'm waiting on copyright permissions for some of those songs, but the books are done, so I can always upload them into the program for you guys, so you guys can always print it. But the physical books, I can't release them until I get all the permissions. Anyway, I'm sorry, I sound so out of breath. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is the last one for a little bit, because I'm going on maternity leave as soon as this little guy shows up. So yeah, I'll be back at it in January, but I have no idea how I'm gonna be when he's here. I'd like to pop in on Instagram. I might flood you guys with some baby pictures, who knows? Or I don't know how it's gonna be. I mean, I love doing all my music stuff, so I might just have him on me and I just keep doing all my music things. As in just like creating stuff. But I'm going to try to not like commit to anything, just be present with him. Anyway, thanks for being here today, guys. If you have questions, let me know. If you want any of the sheets that I made, let me know. I can send them to you. If you are struggling with a song and you want me to help you or explain or find a thing on a version that works on guitar tabs, let me know. I'm here to help. All I want to do is help and hopefully make lessons fun for you guys, for your students. Anyway, rambling again. Oh, you'll find a rhythm that totally start to be present. Yeah, I don't want to commit to anything because I always overcommit. So we're just gonna relax. I look forward to the baby photo Instagram flooding. Yay, Nico, thank you. Okay, guys, if you need anything, you guys all know where to find me. But I will see you guys in January for the workshops, and then in the meantime, probably on Instagram or in emails and all that good stuff. Okay, bye guys.